What most doctors will tell you is that consuming sugar is completely fine. But what they don't tell you is that by quitting sugar, you can completely change how you look, how you feel, and your overall health. Today we're going to look at what actually happens to your body when you completely quit sugar. The first change you'll notice is that you'll lose a lot of fat very quickly. Put simply, fat is excess stored energy. All foods contain energy. When you eat more energy than you burn, this extra energy is stored as fat. When you stop eating sugar, you lose fat for 3 reasons. Firstly, whenever you have a sugary meal, your blood sugar rises rapidly. As a result of this, very temporarily, you will feel good. But here's where the problem arises. Having very high blood sugar is toxic to humans. When the sugar is in the blood for too long, it starts sticking to your cells, which causes great damage to them. This is called glycation, so your body wants and needs to get rid of the sugar. To do this, a hormone called insulin is released to take in and metabolize the sugar, which brings your blood sugar level back down. This sugar is then taken into your cells, so typically around 2 hours later, your blood sugar starts to come back down. But when it comes back down, it doesn't slowly come back down to baseline, so you feel how you did before eating it. Instead, it goes way down. It goes below baseline, causing hyperglycemia to some degree. In this state, your body thinks it's dying. It thinks it's run out of energy in the form of stored body fat. And as a result, you get a massive stress response. Your energy crashes, you feel irritable and moody, you're super hungry, and as a result, you feel terrible. This is why most people come 10 a.m. after a sugary breakfast. They can't focus. All they can do is think about food. But if you quit sugar and instead eat a meal that's high in proteins and fats, your blood sugar will spike much less. And when it comes back down, it does so much slower. And it never goes below baseline, meaning you will have much more stable energy levels as a result. The second reason you will lose fat when you quit sugar is because of the hormone we just discussed, insulin. High levels of insulin affect a number of things in the body. The role we're interested in here is how it affects one of your hunger hormones called leptin. In order to feel full, leptin plays a crucial role. It essentially says to our brain, hey, we are full, we can stop eating now. But when insulin levels are very high, it actually blocks the signal. This is why once you start eating it, it's very difficult to stop. It also explains why you have a massive meal. You're completely full. You can't eat anything else. And then you have some dessert. Your blood sugar spikes and therefore your insulin spikes. It blocks this leptin and all of a sudden you have that second stomach. You feel as if you're no longer full. The third reason quitting sugar will make you lose weight is because sugar itself is very high in energy, but it doesn't fill you up very much. So what happens is your total energy consumed for the day is very high. You end up consuming more energy than you burned, and this excess energy is then stored as fat. For most people, one of the main reasons that they're overweight is they're consuming too much sugar. Keeping all of these things in mind, it makes perfect sense why removing sugar from your diet will help you shred fat. The second thing you'll notice if you were to quit sugar is you'll have a massive increase in both focus and energy, which will result in you being a lot more productive and as a whole just having more energy throughout the day. Here's why this occurs. Those blood sugar spikes and crashes we just talked about. Well, when your blood sugar levels are going up and down all day like this, so is your energy. When your blood sugar levels are low, you'll get this moody, low energy feeling. I can remember when I used to consume a sugary breakfast first thing in the morning. Come 10 a.m, I would feel so tired, I would have to eat again. If I didn't, no matter how hard I concentrated, I just wouldn't be able to focus. So by cutting sugar out of your diet, your focus and overall energy is going to be so much better. You'll have consistent, stable energy all day long. The next major difference you'll notice is with your skin. If you look at any population of humans who don't consume lots of sugar and processed food, acne doesn't exist. Nobody has pimples. When I was younger and had skin issues, I would always be told to try out some cream. And when it wouldn't work, they'd put me on some stronger cream. None of these creams ever worked because they didn't address the root cause. Sugar feeds the bad bacteria in our guts, which causes inflammation. This inflammation causes pus to form under the skin and causes more oil to be released to your skin, which then clogs your pores. Due to this inflammation and therefore the pus and your blocked pores, you start to get pimples. No amount of washing your face with these fancy creams can completely unclog those pores. You have to address the root of the issue, which is caused by inflammation in your diet. So when you remove sugar from your diet, a lot of this inflammation will clear. And as a result, your pores can start to unclog, and before long, your skin will be looking so much better. Now, to many, this last benefit of quitting sugar will be the most important. The fact that every doctor doesn't tell their patients this blows my mind. Nearly 1 in 3 people have prediabetes or diabetes. By definition, diabetes is chronically elevated blood sugar levels. Mainstream doctors will tell you that diabetes is caused by insulin resistance, meaning insulin is no longer working properly. It's no longer taking the sugar into your cells. So as a result, your blood sugar stays high and you have prediabetes or diabetes. And that's true, but here's where the problem lies. Too much sugar in a cell is very toxic to it. So when you have too much sugar in your cells, they start to lock out extra sugar to avoid cellular inflammation. Remember, inflammation is the root cause of every disease. So your cells block out this extra sugar in order to protect themselves. This means the sugar stays in your bloodstream, and over time, if you continue to consume too much sugar, your baseline blood sugar increases and you become pre-diabetic and then diabetic. To me, it seems like insulin resistance is insulin working exactly how it's meant to. You certainly don't want too much sugar in your cells. So insulin resistance really means you've consumed too much sugar. They say you are insulin resistant. Your insulin's not working properly. But really, it's just your cells have become less responsive to insulin because they don't want too much sugar in them. So what they'll do is they'll prescribe you insulin injections. As a result, your cells, which are already full of sugar, start taking in more of it. Which certainly does not sound good for you, does it? I'm sure it's no coincidence why people with diabetes have much higher rates of cancer and every other chronic disease. But instead of using insulin, if you quit eating sugar, the levels of sugar in your blood would start to come down, and you wouldn't have to cause damage to your cells by having excess sugar in them. Quitting sugar will seriously help you manage your blood sugar levels. So in just 14 days of consuming no sugary foods, you'll be less hungry and lose weight. You'll have better energy and focus. Your skin will improve, and your blood sugar levels will improve. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that all carbohydrates break down to sugar. Yes, quitting sugary foods like cake and ice cream will make a massive difference to your life. You'll feel a lot better, you'll look a lot better, your overall health will improve considerably. But the real truth is, if you want to be your optimal self, you need to try the proper human diet. The diet that our ancestors who had no disease ate. The diet that humans are meant to eat. In this video right here, I break down exactly what the proper human diet is.